is playing kickball or whatever.
Oh, okay. That's actually fun. I like that, Bryce.
We haven't tried
That's the best part.
No, we haven't
10.2, we are going to be factoring trinomials of the form x squared plus bx plus c. All right. Factoring trinomials of the form x squared plus bx plus c. Need you guys to be awake for this, okay? Now, yesterday's work, some of y'all struggled on, and I can tell if you're zoning out during these notes, then you're going to miss stuff, and then you're going to struggle. Even with notes, you're going to struggle. You've got to have full attention at all times, all right? Don't be thinking about Taylor Swift and stuff like that when I'm trying to teach.
How do you Taylor Swift is?
You need to stop thinking about like Subnautica and stuff like that. Okay, here we go.
Right now it's on turn. And technical.
Okay, whatever. Just tune into math right now. Okay, so basically, I mean, because this is kind of weird stuff here. Factoring trinomials that look like this is opposite of FOIL. And remember, FOIL was this thing. First, outside, inside, and last. Remember that? Okay, this time we're doing the opposite of that. Remember the last test, you were given this and you were told to, simplify it, solve it, right? Right? This is what you're given. Well, this time you're being given this, and you got to give me this. So last chapter we went from this step, Emily, eyes on the board. This step we went from here to here. Remember, y'all had to write it out like this. Now you're going to be given this, and you got to take it to this step. So it's an easy way of checking it. You just do FOIL and see if you get the same thing. You would think. But I have students that will give me this, not bother to check, so it's wrong, or they'll give me this and still check it and still somehow get the wrong answer. So you really got to pay attention to what you're doing. All right, so step one. You write factors of the first term. Second, find factors of last term. This is going to be fun. Whose sum is second term. So, I mean, yeah, the steps legit are write factors of the first term. Part 2 says find factors of the last term whose sum is second term. This is why we'll be doing lots of examples. 3, check by FOIL. Check by FOIL. If there is no solution, then it's prime. And you're gonna hate that because you're gonna sit there and work it and work it and work it and work it, and all of a sudden you're gonna realize it's prime after all this time. So I will tell you, yes, you will have homework that will end up being prime after a lot of work. I will not do that to you on a test, or quiz. Not, and here's what's funny. I will give a test or a quiz, and I will tell my students, and guys, don't tell me it's not going to happen this year, because it has happened every single year. I will say, at no time are any of the problems on the test or quiz prime, because I don't want you sitting there wasting your time forever when it's prime, okay? I'm not going to do that to you on a test or quiz. And I will tell you that. I'll even have it written on the test. And then I'll have people turn in tests and quizzes with the word prime on there. You know what? You deserve a 0. If I'm telling you, and I have it written on the test, there will be no prime answers. Prime. So please know, I will use you as an example in front of the whole class if you do that, because I will not give you any prime answers for test or quiz questions. That would be not nice.
Not put prime for every answer.
And wait till you see what grade you get.
0.
0.
0.1.
No. -1. All right. Open up your book to page 411. We're going to jump right into examples.
Is that your favorite phrase?
What?
Jump right in.
I don't know.
What's
I
your
don't
favorite
really
phrase?
think about it. Why don't you just open your book?
We're getting close to the end of the book.
I know.
We're only more than
Dangerously
halfway
close.
Well, we're kind of getting close to the end of the year, too.
It's a miracle.
I know. All right, the first thing you always want to do, just in case, and you've been doing this like all last chapter, you want to make sure that you write in descending order first. Just in case it's not. Most of them will be.
Does this take the blown page? Because I'm not sure.
It's, if you don't have much room, I'd change. All right, so we're going to start with number 1. Once I do one of them, some of you are going to be like, okay. And I'm going to tell you, there's really no trick. So we're going to do several of them. I've got several pages. But you should start. Wait, why do I have multiple of the same stuff? We don't have that many examples. I take that back. Huh? That has nothing to do with what we did yesterday.
Except for the word prime.
All right. So we have a squared plus 8a plus 15. Okay. It says factor. If the trinomial will not factor, write prime. So if we were to do like what we did yesterday, there's nothing to take out of here, right? Okay, so factoring can also mean what we're going to do today. All right, so what we have to do is find two numbers that when, well, like right here, we know right now that the first term in both these brackets is going to be what? To get this. And A. Remember FOIL. All right, so already we've got this one down because A times A is A squared. Do y'all recall this? Hopefully you remember last chapter. Okay, so now we've got that down. What we have to do now is find two numbers. Now listen to my words. Two numbers that when multiplied give me 15, but when added give me 8. So my suggestion, these, remember, are the easier ones and they get harder. So over here, you're gonna, and remember that both of these are positive, so that's a good thing. So tell me all the ways that I can get 15 if I multiply two numbers. Taylor?
5 times 3.
Gives me 15. When added 5 plus 3, what do you get?
8.
So would that work?
Mhm.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. 3 times 5, what does that give me?
15.
And 3 plus 5, what does that give me?
8.
So would that work?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to have harder ones. What if it was 1 times 15? Because that gives me what?
15.
But if I did 1 plus 15, what would that give me?
16.
That would not work, right? Okay, so technically, we could use either one of these, right? So let's go ahead and use the first one. 5 and 3. So let's check that. A times A is what, Emily? And then A times 3 is what, Emily? 5 times A is what, Emily? And then 5 times 3 is what? Okay, Emily, what are my like terms? And so I have A squared plus what? 8A plus 15. Does that match? Does that check? Okay, so guess what your answer is? A plus 5 times A plus 3. There's your answer.
It's not too bad.
Oh, this is number 1. Keep in mind, you're going to start having negatives.
Oh.
So, like, for example, would it be possible for it to be negative 5 times negative 3? What would that give me?
15.
Positive 15. When added, what do you get?
Negative 8.
Negative 8.
Oh, my bad.
So then if this was negative 8, that's what you would have had to do. Do you see that? So you're going to have negatives here, maybe a negative here, and you're going to have to play around with this stuff and write it all down different ways to see how to get each one. So this was the easier of them. Any questions so far? Let's do another. Number 3. A squared, oh, looky here, minus 4A plus 3. Oh my. So now we've got to go ahead. I'm going to write my brackets. Luckily, the first thing, and that's today. Just wait until tomorrow. Yeah. Today, what do we know is here, Cecilia? A. Because A times A is going to give us A squared. Now we have to find all the ways to get 3, positive 3 when multiplying, but when adding gives us negative 4. So, Michael, what are some ways to get positive 3? Okay, so what'd you say? Negative 1 times negative 3 gives us a positive 3. And then -1, we can say plus -3 does give us -4. Do y'all see that? Does anyone not see that? So you're going to need to know your positives and negatives, and you're going to have to write all of it down. And I'm going to I tell my students, don't try to do it in your head. I mean, sit there and write. Okay, so -3 times -7, -1. Oh, that gives me +3. Right, switch it back and forth. Try all the different ways. You'll thank me later on if you do this. All right, so we know that -1, we'll do the one that Michael suggested, and -3. Now let's check it out. A times A, Michaela. And you need to do this. It will be beneficial, Taylor. Write all your work down. A times -3, Michaela. -1 times A. And then -1 times -3. What are my like terms? All right, so then I get A squared.
-4a, 2. Oh, wait, no, -4a.
Very good. And then +3. Is that the exact same as that? Yes, it is. It checks. So our answer is A minus 1 times A minus 3. Now, let me ask you this. What if I did A minus 3 times A minus 1? I flipped it. Wouldn't that give me the same answer? Yes. Will it always give me the same answer? No. You need to write it out over here. Because I'll tell you something else. I'll have students that try to do it in their head. Miss Rogers, I can't find what works. How do I know what you've tried if you don't have it neatly written on the side here? I'll say, oh, but you haven't tried all the different ways. When you're getting to some of the hairier stuff, uglier stuff, you're going to have a whole list of stuff over here that shows all the different ways of getting things. You need to write that out so that you keep track of what you've tried and what you have not tried. Because it can be, especially the next section, it can get tough. Okay? And I'll have students, when they're doing their homework, they'll raise their hand. I think this is prime. No, it's not. Well, I tried everything. No, you haven't. I can't help you if you do it all in your head or you write stuff down. Oh, this didn't work, and then you erase it. If it doesn't work, you can just leave it there or even put an X next to it. But it's okay to kill trees today, especially the next section. All right, let's do another one. Let's do 5. I have B squared plus B minus 20. I'm going to go ahead and put my little parentheses here. Emily, what goes in the first part of the parentheses? B, because B times B gives me B squared, right? All right, now we got to figure out, look right here. We got to figure out which combinations, when multiplied, will give me -20. What two numbers, when multiplied, give me -20, but when added, give me a plus what, Cecilia? What's this? That's right. We got to find what, when multiplied, gives us -20, but when added, gives us a +1. Raise your hand if you figured it out. Well, first, let's just go through it. Emily, give me two numbers when multiplied give me -20. Any? Okay, so which is negative? Okay, so -2 times positive 10. That gives us negative 20. But if I add them, what do I get, Emily? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all need to write this down. Okay, so that's not going to work, right? So then we could even switch it, Emily, and do positive 2 times negative 10. That would give us negative 20. But when added, gives us negative 8. Okay, that's not going to work. Cecilia, what two numbers did you use? Huh? Well, give me two numbers. When multiply, give me negative 20.
Never mind.
No, I asked what two numbers.
Negative 1 times 20.
All right, see, I like that. Negative 1 times positive 20 gives me negative 20. But when added, and Cecilia, I'm asking because it's helping me to show how to write all this down, gives me a positive 19. Okay, so that won't work because we're looking for 1. Wit,
Negative 4 times positive 5.
negative 4 times positive 5 gives us negative 20. When added, it gives us positive 1. So we have found our winner. Now, I need y'all to look up here. Every one of you, put your pencils down, look up here. What if Wit had changed that? Positive 4 times negative 5. That would give me negative 20, right? But when added, it'd give me a negative 1. So do you see that we're using the same two numbers, but we moved the negative sign, therefore it changes this answer right here. Do y'all see that? And by the way, Cecilia had negative 1 times 20. You could have also done positive 1 times negative 20 and got negative 19. I want you to understand that you can flip-flop them. You know what I'm saying? The negatives using the same numbers because look right here. Just moving that negative sign over gave us what we're looking for. So in this case, like here, did it matter if I had a negative 1 and negative 3 here or switched them? No. And it really doesn't matter here, but you really want to make sure that the negative stays with the 4 and the positive stays with the 5. If we check, we have b times b is b squared. B times 5 is 5b. Negative 4 times b is negative 4b. And negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. Emily, what's my like terms? And that will get us a 1b. It's okay if you write that 1. And we check, yep. So then our answer is b minus 4 times b plus 5. Any questions? None? All right. Everyone have this? Yes, sir?
It's not a question, but it's not a thing. So the picture or the thing on page 410 is useful for knowing where the negative goes, like in the parentheses, like which one the negative goes in.
Okay.
So for B, it's basically saying the last if the number without a variable is negative, then the negative is going to be in the first parentheses.
It doesn't have to be in the first parentheses.
The diagram's wrong.
So wait, you're saying this, if it's a negative, the third one is negative, it has to be in the first parentheses?
Book says.
Okay, but let me ask you this. What if I did this? Would I still get the same answer?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. B times B is B squared. This is 5B and negative 4B. So that would give you 1B. And then 5 times negative 4 is negative 20.
Does it just matter which one you put the parentheses?
Bingo. It doesn't matter which parentheses you put the negative sign in. What matters is which number has the negative sign. Because you see here it's negative 4, it's still negative 4. So it doesn't matter which parenthesis, what matters is which digit you're putting in front of.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, why do you think I do Mrs. Rogers' notes?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Let's do number 9. And, oh my gosh. Yes, I wanted you to do this one, but that's okay.
I'll do it.
All right. You can hold off?
Yeah.
All right, I want you to do this on your own. So real quickly, what letter goes in the first?
So I'm writing it down.
Okay.
Yeah, X.
All right, go ahead. And you guys work on it too.
So
You just try, it's on your paper, you try to figure it out. Or just stare at it and try to figure it out. You're all trying to figure it out, not just him. Taylor?
prime.
Yep.
I forgot
Yeah.
that prime existed.
There is no solution to this one.
You know, you're right. Because you think about it over and
All right, you may go to the bathroom. This is my point. You will sit there and work and work and work and work and work.
I was just like,
And then, yeah.
I was thinking, can you do it like
I was like,
0.5
Yeah.
times the
two
bunch?
times two,
Yeah.
4 times 1.
So-
and if you add both of those,
None of them give you 7.
So for that to work most of the time, doesn't that have to be smaller than that number?
Not necessarily.
well, it could be 5.
It could be 5. If this was 5. 4 times 1.
It was the 10.
No.
It could be 5.
It can be 5. I know. Okay.
Find all the tricks.
He's got to find all the tricks. All right, let's do 11. X squared minus 9x plus 20. All right, here's where you have a positive and a negative. So we know that x is going to go here. Okay, let's see. Aiden, what are two numbers when multiplied give me positive 20?
2 and negative 10.
That gives you,
20, negative 20.
we want positive 20.
That's 2 and 20.
Oh.
Or 10. 2 and 10.
Okay, so
Uh,
So negative 2 times negative 10?
Yeah.
So negative 2 times negative 10 does give me positive 20. But if I add them together, I get negative 12, right? Not negative 9. Wit?
Why wouldn't we multiply the 9?
Because we're not. You find two numbers, when multiplied give us 20, when added give us negative 9.
so it would be negative 5 and negative 4.
Let's see, negative 5 times negative 4. That gives us positive 20. If we add them, it gives us negative 9. So that checks. So then I have -5 and -4. So we got, yes, sir?
No, you always multiply the number that doesn't have a letter.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rules. Find the factors of the last term whose sum is the second term.
Oh.
Silly boy, that's what we've been doing.
Oh, but I thought about it and I got really confused.
So we're going to check this. X times x is x squared. X times -4 is -4x. -5 times x is -5x. And then -5 times -4 is +20. These are our like terms. So I have x squared minus 9x plus 20. And that, whoops, that's not the answer. That checks. So the answer is x minus 5 times x minus 4. Now, over here, y'all could be doing like all kinds of things over here to be able to get. You could do the 2 times 10. You could have been doing, you know, like 4 times 5 and 10 times 2, 20 times 1. You could have done -1 times -20. That'd give you a +20, right? But -1 plus -20 gives us a -21, so that wouldn't have worked. So you see all the combinations, the possibilities. It's kind of a trial and error thing. Any questions? I'll show you. Last year, that's how many we went through. So you could have a lot written down to be able to find that last number. All right, let's look at last one. I'll set you free. Look at number 27. Three x squared minus 24x minus 27. Gabby, think back, all of you, think back to yesterday. Is there anything that we can take out of each term? What? 3, right?
Sorry.
Okay, 3x squared divided by 3 is what, Gabby? (24x) divided by 3 is? And 27 divided by 3 is? Oh, looky there. Y'all need to pay close attention to 27 because if it's not like this where it's just already an x squared with no number, you probably are going to have to factor it out. Now, you're going to have to bring down this 3. I have students always forget that. And now you're factoring out this. So Emily, what goes in the first term right here? Yeah. Because we took the 3 out, we're left with this. I'm bringing the 3 down, and I divide it up into 2 brackets. Now we've got to find 2 numbers that when multiplied give us -9. When added, give me -8. Michaela, what 2 numbers do you think?
Question.
Uh-huh.
Will we ever use like decimals to multiply?
No, I'm not going to have you do that. So, Michaela, tell me what 2 numbers will give me -9 when multiplied? Any 2.
-3 times +3.
-3 times +3. That gives me -9. Now add it. -3 plus 3, what do you get?
0.
So is that going to work?
No.
Okay, see, trial and error. Cecilia, give me 2 numbers when multiplied, give me -9. What two numbers, when multiplied, give me negative 9? Any two.
1 times -9.
1 positive 1 times negative 9. That gives me negative 9. Now, if I add it, 1 positive 1 plus negative 9, what do I get, Cecilia?
-8.
Oh, look. It checks. So then we have plus 1 and negative 9. And just for the sake of time, you know you can check it and see if you get the right answer. But this is the right answer. So when you have these, you got to factor out whatever you can, and then you break it up. Any questions before I set you free? All right, you're going to do page 411 to 412. You're doing numbers. Might have y'all a quiz on Friday, I don't know.
Please.
Oh, let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna do ten through 28 even. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think you can handle that. And I'll be nice. That'll be it for that. And then honors. You will do 14 through 28 even. And 34 and 36. This is due Thursday. Get to work. May have a quiz on Friday. We will see. May.